What up, people? Yo, this is Man at Arms, and hold up, let me put these down. So yeah, this is Man at Arms, and we're gonna do something different today. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just share a little bit. Most of this channel was used for just like beat videos and stuff like that. And what I want to do is maybe just a little something different. Actually, kind of share, I guess, what my journey is, how I got involved in music, what do I plan on doing with music, what am I doing right now with music, and why I even started this channel to begin with. I know everybody has a beat channel, and that's basically why I started this, listening to what everybody was talking about on the internet. If you got a beat store, that you got to have a beat channel on YouTube and make the little videos and everything to go along with it. So I was lockstep with that and created this channel. And I'll be honest with you, it don't really help much with sales. It just gives people another way to kind of check out stuff that you make. So that's just being honest with you. Most of this, if I had a beat sale, most of the beat sales will come just through relationships with people, and people that I know, or people who I've met online, and I've actually tried to talk to them, and we've actually had conversations like real people. So that's kind of the reason why I'm doing this video now, is to actually be the real person that is behind the beat videos. That, because doing beat videos was really never like that wasn't never really on my agenda to do, but I did it, like I said, because that's what they say you need to do in order to make beat sales, which so I don't really post a whole lot of beats on here. I mean, there's a lot of space a lot of times between when I first make a beat and when I actually upload a video. I haven't uploaded a video up here probably in at least a month. So yeah. So I figured I'd switch it up just to kind of be like Wizard of Oz and be the man exposed behind the curtain. So there you have it. So needless to say, I got into doing music a long time ago, man. I think probably first time I really got into it was probably like 93, 94. So I always had a love for hip hop more specifically, but my family in general has always been some kind of music in my family, from my mom, from my father, from, you know, people at church that are in my family that played instruments, cousins, people sing. I mean, it's just in there. And in my current family, pretty much everybody in my household has some type of musical talent, even if they choose to use it or not. But yeah, I got into music back in the early mid 90s. One of the first things that I had was, you know, Technics 1200s. I try to teach myself how to scratch. The turntables I actually had before that were some gym sound turntables. They were horrible, like belt drive. When you scratch on them, the record like slows down and like speeds up, so you never could do it right. So that's like, if you try to learn on something like that, that's a rough road, baby. Telling you the truth on that. But I actually learned how to scratch on some janky turntables like that. Even goes back to even before that with my boy Tommy Gunn. He's the one that kind of got me on this path. And I remember being in the basement, we were probably like 16 or 17, and having some straight arm turntables, scratching on Eric B. as president. I got a tape around here somewhere with that on it. I would even play it if I had my USB tape deck. I don't know where that is right now. I had to dig around in my office to see if I can find it. So, but yeah, I got into music like that, man. So I would make like little loop beats or whatever, either from my dad had I never had like a MPC, like it was an MPC over in the corner, but somebody gave me that and I never got it fixed. The screen's out on it. It's an MPC, and it's actually the janky MPC. It's like the MPC 2000. It ain't the XL, so it's missing some of the features that the XL had. But yeah, I never got it fixed. And part of the reason being, number one, back in the day, I never had like a MPC or SP1200, nothing like that. I came in under like, the first sample that my dad got me was like it was an Insonic like EPS or EPS Plus. So like the first beat I made was on one of those. And but I never had an MPC, so I never learned how to use one of them joints. Because later on I ended up getting an ASR 10. Actually had a car accident. Got like 10 grand. I took some of that money. I've told this story before. I took some of that money from the car accident and bought that keyboard. It was like $2,500. Ironically enough, that same keyboard can be found today on eBay for the exact same amount that I bought it for brand new in like 1994, 1995, somewhere around there. So yeah, I started, making beats and stuff on that thing. And from there, I ended up meeting different guys and started trying to form different groups with different people. I even got to a point where I was like, man, I can maybe make a record label. Like I have like 4 different groups on the label and I do the production for it and all this kind of stuff. But mind you, this was before internet and anything. So I had no idea what I was doing, but I had an idea and I had a vision in my head that I actually wanted to create and put together. So we ended up making like a demo tape with probably like 6 or 8 songs on it. I mean, obviously it didn't go anywhere, but it was the fact that I thought it in my head. I had a vision, set out to accomplish, made it, put the whole thing together myself. And I got that, I think, in a digital format now, somewhere on this hard drive. So maybe one day I'll break it out and I'll share it on the stream here on YouTube with you guys, just so you can hear where I was at mentally with music back in 1994. Because honestly, for where I'm at, and this is in St. Louis, Missouri, in the 90s, I think I was on to something. I was ahead of my time too at that point in time. So anyway, needless to say, things happen, things change, and I got away from music for a while, like literally a while. Like from that point on up until maybe 2006, 2004, 5-ish. I got married 2000, 2002, something like that. Family starting, relationships and all that stuff. And music started changing from analog to digital, analog gear to using programs and stuff. And I was kind of lost. And I didn't know how to transition, didn't know what to transition to. People were like, hey man, try this gear out. But I'm like, what about these programs though? So I messed around with FL Studio, kind of lost. I ain't gonna say I lost track with it, but it worked. I made a bunch of beats with it, but I just didn't like the feel of FL Studio at the time. So I kind of was like, pause on that. So then I tried Reason. I learned a lot with Reason, read a manual on that, but the music was changing. It went from like a crunk phase, hyphy phase to a trap phase, and I wasn't really feeling those styles because my style was more of your traditional boom bap, kind of old school hip hop or whatever, because that's what I grew up listening to. I grew up listening to, producers like Pete Rock or Large Professor, Lord Finesse, DJ Premier, Dr. Dre, people like that. That's what I grew up listening to. So when stuff changed and the producers changed, and I didn't really know where I fit in when it came to stuff like that. So yeah,